music.
Well, I went back in time and I got my hair. Steelers Nation Australia headband. We'll get you some like high socks. We'll get you some like these shorts.
Hey,
shorts.
you're standing up. Easy.
Yeah.
It's like balls of fury.
So when JJ52 says, will Ray Gun make the 53? No, she's cut.
If you're not going to take Ray Gun, I know a place in Western Pennsylvania where she'll fit right in. Right at the cookie table at a wedding.
She could be my second string long
Call her
snap.
Dr. Boogie or the Dr. Get Down and tell her she has a PhD in Get Down. Like, play the music,
You know what? If she'd had some bling and looked like LL Cool J and I'm gonna knock you out, she might have won.
Alrighty, Steelers Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia and Steelers Dynasty podcast with Bubba and maybe Shane if he jumps in later on today. We don't know. We don't know where he is. Where's Shane?
No, we do not know. Actually, we do not.
He's somewhere around America. He's doing some kind of like secret business. Bubba, how you doing, mate? I haven't spoken to. Have we been live since I've been back? No.
I don't know. I think so. I think so.
I don't think we have. Have we done? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, well, the last time I really saw you, I was on a Captain Morgan quest. But anyway, I
was saluting Jack Daniels too many times.
Well, next time, like we said on the off screen, it's all business. We'll be all business.
All business. Only beers. Only beers and like two shots.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm good. I mean, I was bad a little bit Saturday. I was a little irate. I wasn't real happy, but I'm good now. I'm all positive. I've been cleanse my soul, my palate.
I hear you. I think a lot of Steelers Nation is very frustrated. Some more than others. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Steelers Nation right now. We're on a look. Here's what it is. The Steelers have lost 4 games in a row. Lost to the Eagles, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bengals, the Gauntlet, right? The Gauntlet. We got smoked. Offense is playing bad. Russell Wilson isn't playing good. Offensive line isn't playing that great. Secondary isn't playing that great. A lot of team and players are dropping balls, and there are fumbles, and there are other fumbles that we make by Mark Robinson or another player, and they can't pick it up. Overall, in a big nutshell, the Steelers aren't playing good football right now, right? But however, doesn't mean though we go into our fears and go into a shell and say, "Oh, the season's over." Because Bubba, is the season over yet?
Nope. I'm taking this as it's I hate the Baltimore Ravens week. I'm ready. It's playoff time. Like in Western Pennsylvania, for me, the whole time, every time the Steelers are in the playoffs, I amp it up more than I do in the regular season because it's something special that you should be happy and feel gratitude that you're into playoffs because a lot of teams are like golfing right now.
That's right. And that's why I think there's maybe a different perspective from my viewpoint to sometimes other Steelers fans out there and saying who want to fire Mike Tomlin and do these things and we suck, we're terrible, and we're not going to win a game, yada, yada, yada. But at least we get the chance to play in the dance. You know, even if we are right now expected to lose by 9 points. Do you think that's a fair assessment being 9? I think we shouldn't. I think it should be like Ravens should be favorite, but maybe not 9. 9's meant to means they're going to.
No, 9's a slap in the face, in my opinion. I believe it could be like maybe 3.5 because they're so close. But that piss poor performance when we were down there a couple weeks ago didn't help. Our offense not producing what we think and know that they can do, and I don't like the 9 points. I believe. Look, Pittsburgh. I believe Pittsburgh's going to upset the Baltimore Ravens. I really do. As crazy as it sounds, and I know I'll probably catch a lot of heat and a lot of people saying that, but I'm sticking to my guns, and I will never, ever. I don't care if Duck Hodges was quarterback, and I'm still taking the Pittsburgh Steelers in a playoff game, which is crazy, I know, but still, I'll still do it.
It's interesting too because last year we finished 10-7, and we had the Mason Rudolph train, the Christmas miracle, that kind of stuff. And then we got absolutely shellacked in Buffalo. They had the snow game. They turned it over. And then it was like, oh, we need a quarterback. We need this. And then the bit of the ride how this season's been going is They made a change from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson. Do you think that's still the best change that was meant to happen? Even though Wilson has been not playing the best football, been trying too hard and turning it over. Look, I don't think they will. The Steelers won't go back to Fields, but do you think they should?
I don't think they should, but they should use Justin in some kind of packages, and they forgot about him last, Saturday night. Use them like in something like goal line or in the red zone. I was all about Mr. Unlimited. I still think he can pull it out. He's trying too much, but also too our tackles. Our tackles aren't blocking, so it doesn't matter if Joe Montana was back there or Big Ben. He'd still be getting killed because Dan Moore has dropped tremendously from about 22 days ago. Everything, now it's like 25, 26. So a little over a month. Everybody has dropped considerably.
Yeah, I saw your post you put out either on Facebook or your YouTube channel on Steelers Dynasty podcast saying something like that. It was like last month, there was Steelers were heading in the right direction for Mike Tomlin to finally win Coach of the Year. That's not going to happen. Yeah. It's probably going to be the Vikings now because he's 14-3, or even the Lions guy, Dan Campbell. Mike Tomlin was in the stretch, but we are playing the hardest schedule and all that kind of stuff. But they haven't been playing good football. TJ Watt was meant to win Defensive Player of the Year. That may not happen now too.
I don't know.
So it's all skidded. It's all stopped and skidded. But there is one positive. This guy doesn't make the Sucked in, Joe Burrow, you loser. 40-odd touchdowns, almost 4,900 something yards, and they missed the playoffs. Look,
I think they honestly thought they were going to get in. I think all Cincinnati Bengals fans thought they were going to get in no matter what.
Yeah, but the Chiefs stuffed them. The Chiefs didn't play anyone. I reckon the Chiefs were told, let the Denver Broncos in, let them win. No matter how you play, let them win because we don't want to see Joe Burrow.
Right.
I reckon there's some conspiracy theory, but I reckon dead set the Chiefs didn't play their players anyway. But I reckon they were instructed to lose because why would you want to let these guys in when they're playing really good football? I hate them, but as a football fan, they're playing solid, Bubba.
Look, we had them on the ropes. We had them on the ropes. We held them to 19 points. I mean, the Steelers defense, hats off to them. It's just our offense just didn't. If we hold anybody to 19 points, and if we could score 23 to 27 points, we were averaging before our debacle, we'd have beat Cincinnati. Like, I hate to say it, but it's true. And Burrows wasn't the gunslinger as he was. I mean, he was throwing stuff, but he wasn't scoring touchdowns, so that's what it's all about.
The first drive, he carved us up. It looked like chemistry when I was there in person. It was insane. I got a question or a comment from Jeddah. Says these 46ers that say we already lost shouldn't watch the game. That's you know what? If there was not like a Amazon Prime where you got to buy something. If there's a fan level saying if your mind is already said, oh, we're going to lose, and you weren't allowed to watch because the TV wouldn't let you, that'd be great. Because I
just thought of something if you're saying that the Steelers are going to lose and you turn it to Amazon Prime to watch a Steeler game, this big giant boxing gloves comes out of your TV and smashes you right in the head.
Yeah, 3D style. Yeah, you're not allowed to if you're in a passionate Steelers fan says, oh, we can't win this game, then the password doesn't work for some reason. It doesn't turn on, and you're like, why isn't it working? And it's like, well, because you didn't have faith. Didn't have faith in the team.
These guys drop off a Steeler fan base. They drop off like a back.
We have one more game. We have one extra game to go. I understand we're not a good team right now, but anything can happen at 0-0. If we get an early fumble against Lamar Jackson and it's like 7-0 or TJ, we get a
nobody thought we beat Cincinnati with Big Ben Roethlisberger in the wild card when Chemo Von Ohoffen hit Palmer in the leg because the Cincinnati Bengals were carving us up in that game, if anybody remembers. And then all of a sudden, Chemo hit him. Carson's on the sidelines. The Steelers win, and then they go to the Colts, Denver, Super Bowl. Nobody thought.
I think they still hate us for that too. The Bengals still hate us for that injury. It wasn't Chemo's fault.
Oh well, he did what he had to do. That's just football. That's football.
Yeah, football gets played out. I also saw another thing too another cool stat for the playoffs that the Steelers are 10-2 or 10-3 versus divisional opponents in the playoffs. So there's different and that's all time, all history. They're 2-0 versus I've got to find a minute. They're 2-0 versus the Bengals.
They're 3-1 against the Ravens. They lost to the Ravens when Jerome Bettis, like I said, we were in the green room there. Jerome had a needle. The trainer stuck a needle in the wrong leg or something, and he couldn't play that game because I was actually there. And the Ravens actually beat the Steelers because we didn't have too much of a running game because Bettis wasn't playing. So
Yeah, I
and it
think I
wasn't
have it
really
here.
bad.
Steelers versus Ravens have lengthy playoff history. The Steelers, their overall record in divisional games in the postseason is 10-2. So that's something to feel confident about, even though we are a bad football team. They're 10-2 in divisional games. Of course, we've had the 1-2 versus the Bengals when Vontaze Burfict knocked out Antonio Brown and we got the field goal. So
Yeah,
there's some
yeah.
things like that.
I don't think the Ravens want to play us anyway. Because you don't know what Steeler team they're going to get come Saturday night. They don't know.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and you are right. Steelers are 3-1 versus the Ravens. They beat them in 2001, 2008, 2010, and 2014 they won. The first time, though, the Steelers in their history are going to Baltimore in a postseason game. So that's interesting. And Steelers have faced the Oilers 3-0, Browns 2-1. Of course, we're in the Browns game because they're $48 million.
Oh, the Oilers.
Whatever.
That's old time there, man. The Steelers used to just beat the living bejesus out of Earl Campbell and Dan Pastorini, but they thought they were coming to Pittsburgh in that 79 season, and they had a high-powered offense, and the Steelers, they said that the grounds crew iced the field a little bit. They were still bitching about that, but Pittsburgh beat them.
Should we give them points? I'm gonna transition to the points in a minute too, because by the way, we're throwing out the MVP awards because it's been a month of craziness, and I've just forgotten what the points are, and it's too hard to go back. So you know,
yeah, it was like Fields and TJ, but you know what? The MVP for me would be Chris Boswell.
Yeah,
so we got. I think Boswell should have been.
This was before I think the Eagles game.
It wouldn't be Fields. It wouldn't be Wilson. It wouldn't be TJ in any of those games. So realistically, I think Boswell or some other, like Cam Hayward, would probably be.
I was going to say that too. Yeah. So we're not going to do the points, guys. We're just going to keep talking football and stuff like that. But I think overall, if we were to keep going, it would have been either Cameron Hayward probably should win some kind of, because he didn't get a lot of points from us, but Chris Boswell would have been up there. Wilson has been on the decline. So, yeah, these points have stopped for the last – because I can't be bothered going back 4 weeks. Can you, brother? It's too much.
No, I can't remember. I can just remember that actually through it all, I think Cam and Boswell has been the only positives that I can possibly think of. I would have gave stuff to Freiermuth if he didn't miss that catch. He was coming on. Yeah, that was his best game of the year, pretty much the best game.
He was on fire. 9 catches.
Yeah.
He was doing well. He was on fire. He says, no, we're not. Season's done. Pack it up, everyone. It's over. It's all over.
He must be lifting in the gym.
Look, I get it. Half of people want to say that and half don't. But yeah, so for the playoffs in history, Steelers are 10-2 versus divisional games. So it must mean something to the coach, to the organization to beat this. So anything can happen. I'm looking forward to it. But before we get into some of the preview versus Steelers versus Ravens, because it's coming around the corner. By the way, it's my Sunday too. So it's your Saturday and my Sunday, which is really good. 12 p.m. I'm getting on the beers. I want to ask you about some of this stuff. We have, of course, I covered this thing with the Bengals losing because they suck. They're now, 57 years or 8 years without a playoff win. Without a Super Bowl. I did a video 2 days ago, and I did a sarcastic video talking about fire Mike Tomlin. I was like, fire Mike Tomlin. He's fucking awful. It's about time. Get rid of him. We can't have him here, right? What are your thoughts? And just quickly on the fire Tomlin thing.
It ain't gonna happen. I know my emotions Saturday night. Look, I understand. It's just emotional. They're never getting rid of him. I know that. They do need to get rid of some assistant coaches, and one would be Terrell Austin. But we're not trading him for draft picks. They're not doing any of that. Like, they're just not getting rid of him.
I want to talk about it because my idea is, I'm a Tomlin guy. I like him. I think he's
I know you are.
And also, the Roonies aren't going to do it. So why do we keep talking about it? Mm-hmm. People have been trying to fire him for 10 years, but they're not going to do it. As a business, as an organization, they're happy with him. They have him for a 2-year contract. It's not going to happen. So we kind of move on. But I did see Adam Schefter. He put out a video. I was on ESPN the other day saying there could be a chance. It's not likely, but there could be a chance maybe if some teams reach out to trade for Mike Tomlin, but the Steelers probably won't do it. And I was like, why would you say that? But then it made me think, because I saw this other tweet from him saying the current NFL openings are Raiders, Jets, Jaguars, Bears, Saints, Patriots. And is there any link there, Bubba, that Mike Tomlin could be traded? And I'll give you my point of view in a minute, but would you ever see the Steelers trading Mike Tomlin? Now he has a He has a no trade
Yeah.
clause in his contract. But if Mike Tomlin says, "Hey, trade me away," they might do it. Could you see him being traded to a team?
No, because all those teams that you put up are way worse than the Steelers. Why would you want to go there? I wouldn't want to go to any of those teams. Not one.
You don't want to go to the Raiders who haven't won in a million
No,
years. You don't want to go to the Jets?
Raiders, no, Jets, no, Jaguars. It's nice and sunny down there. That's it. But there's no other. I mean, the Patriots got rid of their first-year coach. 1 year that guy had, and they got rid of him.
Yep.
And Gronk was pissed on the Sunday night show, and they had to go cut to commercial, and he was still talking about it. And they're like, "Hey, we got to go to commercial." And he goes, "That's ridiculous. 1 year, they didn't even give him a chance." He goes, "That's just." And they go, "Hey, Gronk, we got to go to commercial." He was going off.
Also, the Jaguars haven't been the same since they fucked with a terrible towel. They wouldn't been going back.
Well, that's the curse.
They fired Doug Peterson. I wasn't a fan of Doug Peterson of the Eagles anyway.
No.
He cost me a bet. He played Nate Sudfeld for the Eagles or something like that versus the Giants on purpose to get a low draft pick. Then he was fired. He cost me $5,000 because the Eagles should have won.
The Cons dad and kid Tony have so much money, they have no idea how to build a team. So they just spend money like it's water. I mean, his kid does that AEW wrestling, and I think he does a lot of blow, but they have no idea.
The same team that had the multicolored helmet that did not work.
Yeah.
And the army uniform that didn't work. The Jaguars were a funny, stupid team, right? So you're right. Why would Mike Tomlin even want to?
He's not going to any of those teams. No, there's no teams there that he would actually go to. And realistically, he's not going anywhere because when he beats Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry about 10:30, 11 o'clock, you know what I mean? People will be just. I'm telling you, they're going to win. There's just something mystique because. The Steelers' back is to the wall. Not even half-point underdogs. I mean, where a month ago we were the top.
Yeah, we would.
A month ago we were the shit. Now we're begging for food off the street corner.
This is one too where I think we're the players for the Steelers that are playing for contracts next year. You know, do they go and re-sign Najee? Do they sign Warren? Do they sign Dan Moore? Do they sign George Pickens? Right. So you need to finish on a good note. Otherwise, it's going to be a total overhaul. Do you think that plays into it as well? And of course, Mike Tomlin needs to get the monkey off his back with the 7 season without a playoff win. Do you think that plays into it?
Some of those guys, maybe out of everybody you said, Jalen Warren. I mean, George Pickens is a natural athlete, but what he did this past week is just uncalled for. And I know people that go to the games, and they told me they're like, "Bub, he just doesn't run out of his route." And I'm sure you probably saw it at he just doesn't run on his route, and he's not putting effort into it. And then when you go over to Mahomes and Travis Kelce, you don't do that. Like on national TV.
That was a bit odd. Yeah,
that was real odd.
Pickens can push all this aside by going out there and winning football games and getting TDs, and we wouldn't talk about it. It's because it's because he's dropping 3 or 4 footballs, and you're like, oh man, what's going on, Pickens? And yeah, maybe he's not as good as he sounds, but there are certain things like, will the Steelers entertain a contract extension if there's going to be this kind of drama? And there's always seems to be drama. I know receivers, because even Tyreek Hill came out today and it was like, oh, I want to trade from the Dolphins. I don't want to be here. But then why would you want to pick up Tyreek Hill if he's like that?
Well, if we do get Hill, the Christmas party would be real huge because doesn't he have like 25 kids? So the Steelers' Christmas party would be real huge. Yeah, he's fast, but there's some receivers out there. I think, look, I'm just a guy sitting in my room just like you are. But look, there's a lot of scouts, and they could pull some talent out there. I was happy with this draft class they had this year. I mean, barring injury with Roman Wilson and Logan Lee and the Watts kid.
Tanu got injured too.
Yeah, so he's going to be pretty much a rookie, and he's going to be starting. Dan Moore, I don't think we're signing because Dan was. I didn't bash him. I liked him, but actually 5 weeks ago he's been playing subpar.
Now the whole offensive line are just regressing. They're just not playing solid football.
Well, between him and Broderick Jones, they have 20 sacks against them. 10 on each side. They gave up 10 sacks. That's a lot.
Definitely. It's also too I think Mason McCormick, he had an interview today. He broke his hand. Apparently he might be playing, but he won't be wearing a club. So that shows me true grit as well and true steel and mentality of like, oh, I'm going to go out there and play with a broken hand. Do you think he plays?
Well, I like McCormick. But that Steeler talk guy, Jack Sparrow, whatever the hell his name is, was bashing Mike McCormick. Said he wasn't good.
Oh, they do it all the time.
And yeah, I think I got blocked. But
same with him and all Steelers talk. It's like 4 weeks ago we're going to the Super Bowl, we're the best team ever, and now it's like fire everyone. We've got to start again and rebuild.
No, I didn't think. I think the sad part about this year is than last year is last year we were 5-1 in our division. This year we were 3-3. So we had Kenny Pickett last year, and this year we had Russell. But also too, the turnovers at crucial times have cost us. Like if we could go back in time and what if Russell would have slid?
Dude, wait. What if, because we were there together the first time
I know.
In person, what if he ran to the fucking end zone? That bar was so alive until he fumbled. Mm-hmm. Everybody went up and they went, yeah, and then down. Mm-hmm. But imagine if he ran in. We would have lost our apps. There would have been a table broken.
Right. We would have been leading in the half, going in halftime 17-10. I mean, yeah. I mean, realistically, I mean, that's the true story. You know, that was.
If he runs to the end zone and we get a TD.
Yeah, I mean, Philly, we all knew. Everybody was like, "Oh, there's no chance because it's a curse or whatever." And I was like, "Oh yeah, maybe we got a chance." But you know, I took Steelers, of course. But I mean, we just couldn't. We couldn't stop, you know, Jalen Hurts. But yeah, if he would have scored a touchdown or he would have slid, it could have been totally different.
And also, the defense led up a 95-yard drive after that. So it's not just on the coaching or Russell Wilson fumbling. It's like your defense didn't back you up in that scenario. You know what I mean?
$160 million defense we have.
Yeah, but it goes backwards either way too, because then when Minka had his interception, then Russell Wilson throws on back. So it's like it's just these things. I think sometimes fans do individualize, like, oh, this happens, this person, he sucks, and that's why we lost. But overall, it's a team game. I saw the fumble from Mark Robinson, who hit the teamer, the Chief, and it bounced back into his back, into the Chief's back plate of his jersey, and went back into the guy's hands. I went, how the fuck does that happen? Mark Robinson nailed him, dude. He nailed him.
That's what happened. I mean, that's what happens. We caused turnovers, and one of their we caused a turnover against the Bengals, and they recovered it. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what happens. We were recovering all this stuff when we were 10-3. I mean, this is still the same team, like Craig Wolfley said, that was 10-3. There's nobody that's like, you know, really, really gone off. That's 10-3. I can only.
You know what says? Tom should have ran it in. Yeah, I think the coaches should play it so they have a bit more responsibility. Imagine that. Imagine if the coaches were allowed to play. You'd see Dan Campbell out there at fullback or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Where would Andy Reid would play left tackle or left guard or something?
And like I said, we were talking off camera. If we would have had the injuries that the Detroit Lions had, we wouldn't even be talking. We would be already talking about who we getting for draft. They lost so many defensive players, offensive players, and they're still they're the number one seed.
Yeah.
And they just kept coming.
Let's talk about that for a minute before I get into some other things I want to talk about with the Steelers, Ravens, and also Arthur Smith. What about some of these wildcard games? I've got these wildcard games here from Adam Schefter.
You like it, Schefter.
Broncos versus Bills. What are your thoughts on that game so far?
Well, all those Broncos are going to upset the Bills.
I think so too. I think they played, dude. I like the connection with I know we beat them as well at the start, but Bo Nix and Sutton. I like their number one receiver, Sutton.
Their defense is not bad either.
Marius Mims Jr. here. I was in Pittsburgh because my flight got delayed, and that pass against the Bengals, and the Bengals won, but the pass like 48 yards in the end zone was fantastic. So you think it's going to be upset for the Broncos?
I think everybody that you're looking at right now, all away teams win.
Yeah, right. Broncos, Steelers.
I mean, I'm not. You know, my FanDuel is whatever, but the Texans didn't show. I mean, if any team, look at the Texans. They scored 2 points. So people are bitching about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
Like at least we're trying to be competitive. We're at 75% because of poor execution and some play calling.
Brian Burns has.
He gets his mustard. Okay. Well, he's not taking the Steelers.
Brandy says I can see Bills losing. Yeah, I don't think Bills because they rested their players last time. A lot of hype around Josh Allen. They're a good football side, so we'll see what can happen. Maybe Denver can upset them. I don't know. I would like to see an upset because if Denver beats the Bills, that means Denver goes to KC.
Right.
Right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Are you there?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. I don't know what the hell happened. I
You-
got a
you-
new laptop.
Your video isn't there, but we'll figure it out. So,
That's okay.
if the Broncos win, they're the 7th seed, and they'll travel to KC. So the lower seed goes to KC.
I like to go to KC. I'm okay with beating the Ravens and going to KC.
I don't know why, but yeah, you're frozen now, dude.
Am I? Hold on, I'll get out. Get out.
Yeah, try and remove yourself. Hang on. Wait a minute. Are you there?
Can you hear me?
All right, I can't see you, though, but I can hear you.
Gee. Am I there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Well, nobody wants to see my pretty face anyway. I got this new laptop, and I don't know what happened.
No, it's playing up. Afton says Bubba needs tech support.
I always need tech support, Afton. You know what? I try to go to school, and I don't know what the hell happened.
At least I can hear you.
Laptop.
That's the main thing. And the main thing is audio, because if we just sat here with visuals, nobody would watch. Okay, another thing I want to show you, I want to talk about, because that's the AFC side, and we'll maybe talk about the NFC side in a minute. But there's this not a rumor. There was the Jets reaching out towards Jets are requesting an interview to Steelers OC Arthur Smith. Source confirms that they're going to have an interview with Arthur Smith. Do you think that would you care if Arthur Smith got a head coaching job when we need a new OC?
No, Burns, I don't have that on. I don't care if he leaves. Because this offense is just okay, but nothing spectacular.
Yeah, okay. Do you think the Jets, though, would he actually get a job? Like, would he go from Falcons head coach to, Why
would you want to go there? I wouldn't want to go to the Jets. I wouldn't want to go to New York.
Well, they still have Hall of Famer Aaron Rodgers playing.
Yeah, and if anybody says he's coming to Pittsburgh, is very delusional.
No way. There's no
Some
way.
people think that, though.
Yeah, why would we get a 45-year-old quarterback, or 40, whatever he's 42? We already have a 36-year-old quarterback that is struggling at the moment with Russell Wilson. I think he can turn it around, but yeah, there's no way that Rodgers would come to Pittsburgh. That's insane.
Right. Well,
and why would we want him?
Touchdowns. He's got his 500 touchdowns. He's good. He can go to Pat McAfee show, smoke some weed, and just go on with his life.
Yeah, GW said I'd rather have Ben back. That's truth. Yeah, if you're going to get anyone, get Ben back. Just bring Ben back to just behind a good line.
But could you imagine if Ben was such a team guy instead of all for himself? It's like, hey, look, go draft a quarterback. Let me mentor him, and then I'll give him the reins, and I will go out peaceably. We would have had Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? We wouldn't even have these problems.
No, I think because that season as well, the 2020 season with the versus Browns playoff game was pretty embarrassing, where that wasn't just on the coaching. It was on, like, Ben threw 2 picks and fumbled and didn't run for the ball and high snaps and all this stuff. Like, you can't just blame coaching for that. It was a piss poor performance from the offense and everyone in total,
There's coaches out there. There's offensive-minded coaches out there. I love the run. I love the run offense, but we need to do a little bit more to get downfield.
Yeah, correct. I do want to talk about one more thing before we get into some keys to the game of Steelers versus Ravens stuff. I saw this tweet, and this will go towards, I guess, the reality of the situation is we have been playing poor in the playoffs and starting bad. I don't know if you've seen this, but from Jerry Dulac, the Steelers are slow starters this season. They've been outscored 56-0 in the first quarter of the last 4 playoff games. What's your instant reaction, Bubba?
Total bullshit.
Bad,
that's
right?
It's ridiculous, and that's why we're always behind the 8 ball all the time.
Now, I will give it, I do understand people's frustration with the scheme and the coaching and Mike Tomlin and all that kind of stuff. I fully get it. I get it. I'm just really sick of hearing about him being fired, but I get it. This is a bad stat. To say that we're not ready for playoff games in the upcoming one where people aren't confident, I fully get it. I understand that, right? But I'm going to still be cheering on our Steelers to win. But that is bad. 56-0 in the first quarter of the last 4 playoff games. Because I think that was the Jags one, that was the Browns debacle, that was the
There I am. Hey!
Hey, he's back!
Hey!
What'd you do?
I hit a button. I'm back, America.
That's bad,
Well,
right? We're not going to sugarcoat it. It's bad.
Yeah, you caught. You know what? I'll say 56. Even if we had 30 points, if we scored 30 points,
Zero. Hmm.
Yeah, zero's bad. But it's been like that. We've been slow starters for the last 3.5 years. Even when Ben
100%.
was playing, and I hate to say this, and I could kick myself and I could jump over a cliff because I wanted Bruce Arians out of Pittsburgh because Ben was going to get killed. But that was the biggest blunder I think I've ever said. One of the biggest blunders I've ever said in all my Steelers fandom, because he was going to get Ben killed, and now I wish we had Bruce Arians like no other, and I
Where is he
regret
now?
saying it.
Is he still coaching?
No, he's. I think he's in the Tampa upper management. I think,
Okay.
but his offense, he was just. We got rid of him. We got rid of him, and look what he did. I mean, that was one of my biggest blunders. Now Todd, Todd Haley. I mean, he had that. We had Ben had a 5,000 yards passing, but between those two, those are probably the best two offensive coordinators under Tomlin's that I can think of. I could be wrong. Maybe the community will tell me different.
Oh, so Tomlin does have a coaching tree then, because apparently he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
No, because Arians was Cowher.
Right, but I joke because all I hear about this is Tomlin hasn't got a coaching tree. I just understand the fixation with these words around coaching tree and this guy came from that guy. Who's the guy for the 49ers who's apparently meant to be a part of the coaching tree, and he's getting shit on? Kyle.
Well, even
Shanahan.
Look at Shanahan, the head coach. That whole 49er team is decimated. They were supposed to be in the Super Bowl.
Injuries and all these things, and they're bad now. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
be a 49er fan right now. Steeler fans are bitching. Go be a 49er fan in San Francisco, and you're going out playing volleyball now because your team's not even playing.
They don't even know what they're going to do with their quarterback with Brock Purdy and all that kind of stuff, right? But I think it's easy to throw out the words of fire Tomlin, and we haven't got a coaching tree. We haven't won, I think, in 7 years. Look, we know all that, but to me, the coaching tree is just really funny because I don't think that's how it works. Is Tomlin meant to raise these guys up and they go and be successful head coaches and go somewhere? I don't know. To me, it doesn't really matter. The coaching tree stuff is fucking stupid.
Now with Chuck Noll, because I'm young, I'm old, but Chuck Noll, Bud Carlson was the defensive coordinator during the 70s. Those guys under Chuck Noll, they stayed for a long time. And I think then they just kept to be coordinators. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I don't think any of Chuck Noll's assistants was a head coach. I don't think so. Well, wait, hold on. Tony Dungy. Okay. I got Tony Dungy.
The thing is, does it overly matter if Tomlin has a coaching tree or not? I don't think it overly matters if he does.
I just want coaches that can coach. Just coach.
Yeah. I don't care where they get them from, where they come in. I think and we only see so much too. We only see we're not in the locker room. We're not
know.
What do we know as fans?
I don't know. They're like, well, what do you know, Bubba? I was like, I don't know. It's not because my dad's like, oh, your team lost again. I'm like, okay, Dad. I own part of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Coaching tree is an overrated argument. I believe it is an overrated argument. Now,
Thanks,
you can
Johnny
say
Quest.
why Tomlin hasn't won in the playoffs in X, Y, Z years. I'll give you that. People don't like Tomlin. I understand that. There's a bit of pressure. But there's also 2 more years on his contract. But a coaching tree is he hasn't got this, he hasn't got that. That's why he sucks. I'm like, I don't really think so. I don't think that's how it works.
But I think also too, the Steelers media is anti-Tomlin too. I think they do that just to percolate the fire of the speculation. You know what I mean? Because they're bashing. The fan was bashing Steelers today. Mark Madden's he's been bashing Mike Tomlin for the last 10 years.
You can't even.
He hates himself. He hasn't seen himself. He hasn't been on a date in, like I said, 35 years. So what do I know? But
he plays that character too. So
I
got a question here from Travis, who's a KC fan. He says, "I understand Steelers fans are frustrated, and we are. But I'm frustrated with him, but I still support him. Right? Tom, it's irritating to go 9-8, 10-7, but as someone who suffered through a 2-14 season as KC, remember KC wasn't the best team before Mahomes.
Right?
They never won it. They never won too many.
We're spoiled. Games. We're spoiled.
KC wasn't the best team. They were a bit of a disaster.
I couldn't imagine in my lifetime a 2-14. I don't know. I'd be doing barbiturates. I couldn't imagine. Oh, it'd be like pitchforks and flamethrowers and people jumping off the cliff. The 80s was bad with Ouija Thompson and Dwight Stone and
Well, Mike says here, our fan base will run anyone out of town. They will.
They try to run Terry Bradshaw out of town.
Dude, I love Pittsburgh. I was there for the week, and I caught up with you guys over there. It was so much fun, and you and Shane, everyone else, right? It was a great time. But it does feel like that when things aren't going,
we are spoiled, Burns. We are spoiled, Burns, because before the 70s, we had 42 years of a lawn. We didn't have anything for 42 years. I mean, the 80s was just poor drafting, and all the guys that were champions were old, and they just were retiring, and we just didn't get. And also, too, they didn't draft Dan Marino.
I'll give there's 2 comments here. There's one from War in the Desert he's on your podcast, Steel Nation Dynasty. So welcome, War in the Desert. Thank you for coming to Bubba's show on his side.
Thank you.
He says Mike Manning's a man lover. Everyone can love everyone. That's fine. You can do whatever you want. That's why we have a good community here. That's why we have different perspectives. And then I have another comment here from Mike as well. And this is what I've been talking about for fucking years and years. And I'm on social media. The feedback loop of the crybabies on social media is part of the problem too. Like it's not they're not really supporting our Steelers anymore. What about the people going to the game for the first time, or the kids, or the crazy super fans that love their team and are waving their terrible towels? They're not on the social media barking at orders.
They're not. They just love the Steelers, and they buy the merchandise and they go to the games, and they don't want to fall into these Steeler chat rooms, and you know what I mean. There's like a million of them. And there's everybody has a Steeler podcast anymore.
Correct.
You know what
Everyone
I mean?
does. We've got one right now, and we're doing fantastic, right? And if you want to make one, grab a camera, have a light, have a microphone, and some earmuffs, and you're good.
I don't know. I don't know the X's and O's. I'm not a defense schemer with the plays or offensive playbook or nothing like that. I'm just a fan who loves the Steelers because I've been raised on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I live in Western Pennsylvania. I've been through the 80s when it wasn't good, but we did have some good, tough players in the 80s that didn't quit. And I think that the Steelers in the last 4 weeks, some of them have maybe quit, but maybe Tomlin has to rally the stagecoach and gather the forces and look, it's playoff time.
But
it's different. It's a different atmosphere. Playoff time.
You might not know X and O's, but you know Steelers football. You know what needs to be done. It needs to run the rock. With efficiency and physicality and not turn the ball over. You know what the Steelers kind of do in certain parts, right, as well. So you may not know the X and O's, but you know the feeling of what the team normally does.
Yeah, because when I used to play Madden, it was 5 white, Hail Marys, no punt. So I'm not. I'm not coaching nothing. I couldn't coach little kids because I'd be screaming like, "Hey, let's go!" and then their parents would kill me. But
5 wide, Hail Mary, no punt. So if
that's what I did the whole time. Yeah,
you're playing almost like Canadian rules, something like that. Some weird.
I would try to run though. I like running the ball. I mean, let's look at this Najee, H-back toss that doesn't work. Let's keep using that over and over and over again.
I try and like it, but I can't.
I like Najee running in between the tackles. I'm okay with him running between the tackles and getting 4.5 to 5 yards, and then it's like 2nd and 5 or 2nd and 4, or you know what I mean? Do that. I don't think he's ever got any positive yards on that toss.
And that goes back on coaching. It does seem very conservative to play that style, to do a halfback toss, and it doesn't work.
What are you afraid of? What are they afraid of? What are they afraid of? If you know what I mean? We have a 1-0 in Philadelphia in 1965. I'd be doing some plays. Didn't they do a flea flicker in that game?
There was a flea flicker at some stage. Then didn't we turn it over after or something?
Yeah, but we got that flea flicker, and they got some big yardage. But yeah, we turned it over, right? I think that was a Najee fumble. Yeah, that was the Eagles game. Yeah,
there was a flea flicker, great play. There's just so many bad. Look, they're not playing well, but I got a comment here from JW. He says, "But it's about championships," and this is why I've been preaching this for years and years and years too. It's the easiest fucking thing to do every year is to win. When 12 teams have never won one, 12. And 4 teams have never been to the Super Bowl since 1965.
It's hard.
It's that easy. It's hard. It's fucking super hard.
It's hard.
And that's why I appreciate that I've been alive to see when I was younger, Super Bowl 40 with Jerome Bettis, and also Super Bowl 43 with James Debo Harrison with the best play in Super Bowl history with the interception. It's super hard.
I saw 2 and listened to the last one during the 80s on the radio. Against the Rams.
Were you alive during the 70s?
Yeah. I mean, some
Yeah,
people might not think that, but yes, 1971. But my dad was not a Steeler fan, so I had to listen to the Super Bowls when I
okay.
was a kid on the radio. My
That's
grandfather was a season ticket holder since 71. He went to all 4 Super Bowls in the 70s.
yeah.
But
I think it's
I was in 3rd grade when we beat the Rams with
right.
Jack Lambert intercepted Vince Ferragamo, and you know what I mean. But also too, I read a lot of Steeler books back when I was a
Mhm.
kid. Instead of maybe doing algebra and other stuff, I was
Nah,
reading
you don't know
Steeler
that
books.
shit. Don't
Yeah,
worry
you know
about
what I
that. I don't
mean.
know that shit.
Yeah,
Nah, what's that?
I
What
I don't know.
what
I
do you need
just
triangles for?
yeah. Why do we need that? Algebra. What the hell's algebra? As long as I know when the Steelers beat somebody, I'm good with that. That pays the bills, I guess, but not really.
Yeah.
But I I, I don't know. It's just that look, if they just execute, and sometimes Tomlin, he's guilty of this. His management, when it's so close, you know what I mean. That game, he did something before the half which he couldn't have, or he should. No, he should have punted. He should have just punted.
Yeah.
Just
Um,
some dumb stuff. I mean, it happens to everybody. I do stupid shit all the time.
I just think as well for this team this year, they probably weren't expected to go to the playoffs, but the bad run near the end was it's terrible, right? We're playing bad
Nobody
football.
expected us to be 10-3. I'm
But if you
telling you.
said
I mean, except for us diehards that dump them in the picks in the spring when we do the schedule and we do that. And I picked them 13-4 because I was thinking the quarterbacks upgraded from Pickett
correct,
to Fields and
yeah,
Wilson. That gives us at least maybe 3 more wins than we had the year prior. It didn't happen.
I think I picked 12-5. I think to win the division, and then we had a chance to with the rest of Ravens, but it just didn't happen. So we got a Ravens fan here says, Chef, he says, we traded a queen for a king. I guess that means
Ah, but also too there, Chef. We like to do the rook. We can castle any day.
we have a bishop as well.
Yeah, we do. He's got
We have a
5
baby bishop.
interceptions.
You know what? I love Ravens fans because they are overconfident and they always forget that the Steelers play.
Thanks for coming on.
The Steelers play them really tough though. Like the last 10 games we've won, I think 8-2 or 7-3 or something like that.
Can you
Right?
imagine if we get to Lamar Jackson, who was 1-4 before he went 2-4 against the Steelers?
Yeah, I think
Just
he's
saying.
now 2-5.
It only takes a play. TJ Watt maybe TJ Watt figures, you know what, this is the game where I have to show the world what TJ Watt is all about. And you know, maybe there's a strip sack, fumble, Highsmith runs it in for a touchdown. Say we get the turnovers in the game, you know, by any means necessary. And Cam Hayward is playing like a demon possessed because he
Dude,
had the
Cam
flu last
Hayward
week.
was fantastic last week. He put his paws up 3 times. You see that?
He's for
He's
being
his best year, one of his best years this year.
people wanted rid of him. Even me
I
was like,
know.
I don't think they should sign him for this big stuff. But you know what? He's having a great year. He played every single game.
I got two good comments here. He says, Bubba knew he would have a Steelers podcast as a kid. He said, algebra. Yeah, screw that. And this one too, Mike says, I'm really stoked and happy about our draft class 2 in a row. Yeah, so have I. There's been promising signs of our draft players like Frazier and those kind of dudes.
Frazier he's had a great year. He's had a great year. I mean, he's the Steelers rookie of the year. You know, he's got the experience now. That is our center now for the future. But if we would have had Roman Wilson in the slot to see what he was made of this year, things could have been a little bit different.
He hasn't been activated off the pup list yet. It's 21 days. I think they'll bring him back because he might not even know the offense right now. But he'll probably come back next year. But yeah, in that sense, yeah, I did like the addition of Queen. I think he's been playing he played good versus Ravens away. Sorry, at the home game we won 18-16.
Right.
So all right, let's
the
go.
The problem is we're not blitzing. We don't blitz anymore.
They haven't blitzed for 2 years.
No, because Terrell Austin's a jackass, and they don't blitz. We're Blitzburg.
They rush 4.
Where's the blitz?
Going back 11. Yeah,
yep.
I wouldn't mind.
Where's the blitz? Where is the fear of blitzing opposing quarterbacks?
I saw a video of Cameron Sutton blitzing when he shouldn't have.
Cameron
TD. So
I think that was the guy that they were talking in defense. I think
I think so too.
I think they just Corey Trice was on Jamar Chase. They should have doubled Chase, and switched it up with Porter. Like Porter's having a sophomore sluggish sophomore season. I thought Porter would actually step it up. I ate my words. You know, I am the worst person he ever played Madden. But I just think that this season he just wasn't up to par. And if he just gets rid of all that negativity and play right and get the penalties away from him, he could be up to a little bit. When you still need a corner.
Well, Dante Jackson might be back as well because he had a back injury, so he's got to come back.
Well,
I think they've got to start playing. I think Minka needs to move around a bit more. I think Kazi will play further back. Deshaun Elliott comes back for this game too. He wasn't there for the Ravens game in Baltimore, so that's different from a defensive perspective. Highsmith and TJ have to step up this game. They got to play like
if those two have a good game, if one of those two, if TJ has a sack and a half and Highsmith has a sack and someone has a fumble recovery or 3 losses behind the line of scrimmage, you know, and Cam bats down 3 balls and they contain Lamar Jackson, because is Flowers playing?
I'm not too sure. We have to ask the Ravens fan, Chef, if is Flowers playing. Let us know. We have another comment here too from Water in the Desert on the Steelers Dynasty podcast side. Why is Russell Wilson starting quarterback? I'll give you my answer for that. And Justin just got benched for less. They were always going to go to Russell Wilson when he was healthy. Then he started playing good football. Now he's on the slide. But I don't think as what the Steelers would do would change back to Fields for one playoff game. Now I do think the field should be used somehow, some way in the passing game or the running game. But Russell Wilson will start until he loses. It's just what's going to happen. He could probably throw 3 picks and they might not even change him.
Well, to answer Walter in the Desert, I like his picture there. That's awesome. I think they should probably bring in Justin Fields for like at least a couple series, maybe.
Yeah, they need something. They need a bit of, because he's got faster legs. He even said in the interview on the post, the press conference, he's like, I've got pretty quick. I'm quick. I'm fast. I'm mobile. And with the offensive line breaking down, he can run for 20 yards. So I don't mind that aspect of the run game and getting Fields involved. But
they have to. They have no choice this Saturday night. If they don't bring Fields and he don't play like more than 10%, I'm going to be livid on my live. I'm going to go
now
off.
as well. Now too, because they already had the 6th round pick. Turned into a 6th round pick. It wasn't a 4th because the regular season snaps are over. They can use Fields as much as they want now. You know, for the picks. Here we go. So yeah, there's a few things here. Claypool, he went to the Bills and somewhere else, and he's one of the worst receivers. I don't think he's still in the league.
I'm not sure. I thought he was going to be something too. He had 10 touchdowns his rookie year, and then he just was like terrible.
All right, so Bubba, let's get out of it short. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions, and for the fans in the chat too, from both actually been a great show with over 40-something people on between the two shows.
Holy heck! Well, God bless America.
Like 40.
Well, hopefully Shane shows up. Hopefully Shane shows up tomorrow, or I'm going to be by myself. And I don't know where he's at, but I could talk. I mean, I could. You do shows by yourself too, all the time.
EJ was banged up a bit too. Justin was banged up a bit as well. He got hit, and so was Warren too. Warren got hit. Did you see when Burrow got hit the other day? He got fucking smacked.
Yes, people were like, "Oh, look." Hey man. That was a legit hit. I had some people in my social media was like, the Steelers, I can't believe they hit Burrows like that. That was that was a good hit. I can't help it that
he
they
hit
had
him hard, son. He hit him
on.
hard. The grass was here. It was fucking it was good to see.
I thought they gave him a concussion. I'm like, oh man, he's out, because it's so easy to get concussions anymore because they don't want people to have concussions.
2 questions before we go, and we're going to do some scores in a minute.
Okay.
Who is the guy that really needs to step up for the Steelers to win the game? The one guy or 3 people stepping up?
Russell Wilson and Pickens.
Okay.
And maybe just a secondary. You know, I mean, because I think TJ's already going to step up. Cam's going to step up. You know, we have 4 Pro Bowlers on defense. All those 4 Pro Bowlers step up because, you know what? You never know when you're going to get back into the playoffs again. You just don't.
It's very true. This is the last game of the season. You have to step up. They needed to go out there and play as hard as they fucking can, no matter if you've been losing.
Everybody. I think everybody in the Steelers should play. Everyone.
Yeah.
I'm blanking it. Offense, Bazooka Joe and his special teams. Austin, don't fumble the fucking punt. Would be great. Don't do that.
And he's been great this year too. Austin's been playing really well this year. So
yeah,
we'll see.
But the second receiver that we have, Freiermuth. I said it all year. Freiermuth, was that guy. You just got to catch the ball.
I think Wilson, Pickens, and Harris. I think Najee Harris needs a big day. He needs to get through that fucking offensive line. If they can't get through the wall, he needs to get a 4-yard carry, 5-yard carry. If he can't
run like it's your last game as a Steeler.
Yeah, run like a Steeler, man. Run like it's gonna be cold. It could be snowing. I think he needs a dead set. And yes, Arthur Smith too. We saw this last month. We were winning games. We beat the Bengals. We beat the Browns. We beat the Ravens 18-16. Chris Boswell now on field goals. Well, the Steelers can do it. The last month there's been a slide. So mine's Najee Harris, man, to really step up. And of course, Wilson too, but really run over people.
How about we just quit? Arthur Smith has that script of his offense, the first 15 plays. Why don't he just chuck it in the fucking garbage and just go? Just chuck it.
Like,
you don't see Wilson rolling out and hitting Donnell Washington now. Well, you knew that was coming for the first 10 games.
Yeah,
you haven't seen it in the last 5.
Yeah, this is the one where you just got to go all out. There's no saving any plays for next.
Yeah, there's no surrender, man. It's like Galaxy Quest.
All right, and the last question too, and everyone can put the scores in the chat if you want to. What will be the score for the game? Bubba.
Oh, I'm probably going to say this like 3 times, but I won't remember the first time I say it.
Me too.
27-17 Pittsburgh.
And
I haven't done any cocaine, no drugs, no nothing like that. 27-17 Pittsburgh. Yes, I'm not ever going to take. I just can't. It's not. I don't care. I can't do it.
27-17 Pittsburgh. I'm going to go a bit closer than that. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I feel like Chris Boswell and Justin Tucker come and they have like a field goal off. I feel like it's going to be. I think we're going to score. Let's do 20. Wait a minute. 24. Somehow, some way, 24-22 Pittsburgh.
Oh,
I think that John Harbaugh is one of those coaches. He showed me last week with the Browns game that he just makes fucking stupid decisions. They would have had a
quarterback. They'd had a quarterback. They would have lost that game last week.
But exactly right. They give Tomlin heat, but there are sometimes he goes for a 4th down when he shouldn't. He does some really stupid plays.
He's dumber than Tomlin. Let's put it that way. The Harbaugh brothers, both brothers combined, are dumber than Mike Tomlin.
But there was a few times with the versus Browns when I think he did a 4th down. He should have went for a field goal. That could have been up by like 10 points or not 9 points. And he went for a 4th down both times and lost. I don't know. I just think that John Harbaugh makes stupid choices. And I think that Tucker is going to miss field goals. So 24-22, they go for a random 2-point conversion somewhere else and they fuck it up. I think we win. So, but yeah, it's going to be a 3-point game, I think, like that. Oh, War in the Desert's got 38-10 if Russ starts and 24. Is that for
Desert?
Is that
hey, he's positive. I love your positivity. See? I'm telling you.
For the Ravens, though. Is it for the Ravens?
Well, I don't. Oh, I hope it's the Steelers.
Yeah, Baltimore.
I think 38-10 for the Ravens, and then if it's Justin starts, it's 27-24. It could be both for the Ravens now. I don't know. I'm a little perplexed.
All right, so what else we got? We've got I'm not confident, but I think Ravens 28-23 by 4-1-2. We got Gene Smith says 24. That's probably
way to go, Gene.
27-24 Steelers, Chris Boswell field goal. I always like though. Do we win, or is it 24-24? We win the field goal, or is it already 27-24 and our defense, saves the day? That to me is like a heart pounding one. If it's 24-24 and we kick a field goal, imagine that.
My nuts are going to be sucked up into my esophagus here.
Imagine if it's like 45 yards out, 24-24 with say 25 seconds to go. Pray for the Wizards to win it.
Oh my God! But 25 seconds to go. Oh.
That would be, and if you miss it and then it's overtime or whatever it is, but still, that would be insane. But if it's like 27-24 and the Ravens are coming back down the field, then we need to have a special play from Bishop.
Oh, Beatty Bishop with an interception.
Yeah.
Oh, that gives him 6.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. Baltimore fan Chef here says 21-17. It's pretty close. So it's that's different to the margin. They reckon that when minus 10. Paul's got 19-17. I like that. This is very close.
Well, Paul
28
said
to
Paul sent
9.
me a thing about 18%. The Steelers are favored 18% to win, and you know what? That's 18% that I like, and I'm going to be praying.
Yeah,
I'm taking
we have to.
18%.
Like you can't. I don't think for me as a Steelers fan, I can't go into this game thinking we're going to lose because you have your hopes
You
up,
just can't.
enjoy the game, and see what happens. And then if you win, in the green, black and gold room, Bubba, I said we have to end the Ravens season. I don't care if we go more than one win. We get one win, end their season, and then we're good.
I just want to win a playoff game and go from there. I do not want to get ahead of myself. Now, a couple years ago, when we played Kansas City and TJ Watt got that interception for a touchdown off Patrick Mahomes, I did a live stream. I drank a bottle of Captain Morgan and Coke, and I thought we were going to kick everybody's ass at Kansas City. Well, 10 minutes later, the bottom fell out. But till then, I thought we had it. But we just have to play. We just have to get over this mystique of losing in the playoffs. I mean, and people forget. And if we beat Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, then Tomlin beat a quarterback.
Yeah,
because there's no bad quarterbacks in the playoffs. Even Bo Nix is a pretty good quarterback.
I think Wilson's like ranked one of the worst ones because of the
last
2 weeks.
Well, hopefully his wife gives him some extra spunk and then gets him ready to go.
Alrighty, so X has here 15-13 win by an early game safety. That's interesting.
Wow.
15-13 would be a crazy game. That'd be fun to watch.
That'd be that's a defensive game that would just that Captain Morgan would be pounding or something because
I think it's
those games like that will just you know what I mean.
You're doing a stream too. I'm doing a stream on different things, but you'll be pacing around your room, and I'll be
I was
everywhere.
I had a lot of F-bombs. I'm surprised YouTube didn't shut me down last week, but
yeah. You just got to survive the first minute, and you should be sweet. I think.
Oh well, it was
too much time, 2 minutes in a row.
Well, I did about 30 in one sentence.
Mike's got Steelers 23-20. That's a Steelers versus Raven game. I want to see a competitive game. We have Chloe's got 21-17 for hopefully a win. Yeah. I did see that as well. That's a big point. We're fourth in rush attempts and 26 in yards. What do you think, Bubba?
That's terrible.
Bad, right?
That's terrible. That's what I mean. They can get rid of this. Look, let's beat the Ravens, go from there and see what happens. But into 2025, next season, get a new offensive line coach. I don't know who, I don't know what, but to teach these linemen how to pass protection and to keep with their keep blocks going. That just, it's just pathetic. These assistant coaches or dollar general coaches, go spend a little bit of money, get some people that have some that know what they're doing.
At this point, though, I think you just have to, scheme, coaching wise, whatever. The players just got to show the fuck up. They just got
execution. Execution. You can't have George Pickens not doing shit, getting one yard. Yeah. And I thought he was going to get 1,000 yards. I thought he was going to play good, get 100 yards of receiving, get 1,000-yard season. Well, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's it. Travis got the game 24-18, but not sure which side. It's all the scores we got. So anything else, Bob? It's been a great show. We've had like I said, over 40 people on both channels back and forth.
Oh,
so
God bless America.
Podcast for Bubba on your right hand side, and Steel Nation Show on my side. I'm the guy that likes Mike Tomlin, and I'll be sarcastic about it. And if you don't get my humor, then you won't like me. So sorry about that. But
I'm with you because I get angry. I'm more. The passion is you see it. Like I get angry because I don't like. I know you can't win them all, but at least just play good.
Tough. Just play tough. Just hit. Come on, hit.
Play smart. Play smart. Execution. And have some good play callings. I didn't see one screen Saturday night. Not one screen to Jaylen Warren or not. I didn't see any screens.
Yeah, they need to get
I don't see.
Again.
I said, I'm not.
They were getting Najee the ball in the middle of the field. They're getting Warren the ball in the middle of the field. Stuff like that. Check downs and moving the ball like that. So, Ali says what. It's over. YouTube sucks sometimes. Fuck you, YouTube, because you.
Yeah, sorry. But you know what though? If Wilson does check downs and just keeps Lamar and Henry off the field and just check down and gets first down and take about 7-8 minutes off of drive and score a touchdown, I'm okay with that too. Just win. I just want to win. I don't care.
Do you know how cold is it meant to be out there for you out there in Pittsburgh now? Is it meant to be really cold for
It's going to
Baltimore?
snow every day. It was colder Saturday night when they played. Cincinnati played in Pittsburgh. It's going to be 20 degrees, but I don't know if the wind chill or the winds, you know what I mean, could be like in the teens.
Is
I
it
mean,
is
we're
it
supposed to get a lot of snow, but I know Baltimore is supposed to get 6 to 8 inches Saturday night.
so it says here snow showers 40 degrees. Is that cold?
40? No, that's not cold. I mean, no.
That's the
If it
highest is
was,
40.
the highest
Nice.
is 40. Oh, well, with that wind chill, especially, I mean, in Pittsburgh coming off the Three Rivers, you know what I mean? It was probably 10
Yeah.
degrees or 15 degrees colder,
It
you
says
know.
50% chance of snow.
It's going to snow. And
All right.
I think we're a better team well, and look at it this way. If it does snow, it'll be 1-1, and this is where we win because we lost the last game in the snow this year.
That was
Should've won it.
a blizzard though. That was a fucking.
We should have won that game too.
We played in that game. They wouldn't allow us to play in the game versus the Bills. So strange.
Yeah.
No. All right, Bubba. Anything else you want to add towards this podcast before we get?
No, I appreciate everybody coming on tomorrow night. It might be myself. Hopefully Shane comes on at 9:00. But we will be on at 9:00 talking about the same stuff that we were talking about today because it's anti Ravens week. I hate the Ravens, so I'll be bashing the Ravens. Sorry if there's some Raven fans in the comment. I don't like that team. I never have. But you guys can come in my comment tomorrow, and I'm waiting for the Ravens Dynasty podcast tomorrow. So just heads up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks everyone. Yeah, check out Steelers Dynasty podcast
Thanks,
tomorrow
everybody.
at 9 p.m.
9 p.m. every Wednesday. We're going. I'm going every Wednesday at 9, even in the off season, just to talk Steelers talk. We got a great community. The people in our chats are awesome, and the people that just come on. If you guys just come on, you guys don't know what you're missing out on because it's a pretty good community where everybody gets along, and we got people all over the world. And I'm from Western Pennsylvania, and Mark's from Australia. It's like
look. If you have different opinions, we agree, disagree.
Sure.
You just never attack the host and never attack the commenter or whatever.
Well,
unless you be
Burns will attack me, but I got to give him his mustard, so I'm okay.
Yeah, well, you won his $100 anyway, so it's fine.
Well, he gave me $100 on the win, and he did say they'll never win the rest of the game. And then he won the mustard the other day.
Fair enough.
Like
So he
Shane,
paid $100.
he paid $100 and he got a jar of mustard from Mucky Duck Mustard, which is good mustard.
All right.
Yeah.
Excess here. Snowy Steelers Ravens game. Hell, I don't mind a close game, and snow games are great. If we get a snow game with a bit of snow on the field and teams hitting hard and we're winning 10-3, defense playing well, they're struggling passing the ball, no Zay Flowers, they can't connect with Mark Andrews. This is going to be
Nobody is giving Russell Wilson anything. Everybody is just like shitting on Russell Wilson. If he comes out and throws for 320 yards and 2 touchdowns and runs one in, look out, America. You know what I mean? Like that could happen too. He's got experience in the playoffs. He won a Super Bowl.
Let's see. We don't know. We still have because I'll be doing a lot more lives too. We might even do another one before Saturday. We don't know, but there's a lot happening.
Whatever you want to do, brother.
We could be 24/7. I just feel like it is that time to be positive, but realize our team isn't playing the best.
No, we're not playing the best, but I will take them. I'm still taking them to win. We're not playing the best, and you know what? Every squirrel finds a nut. I got married, God damn it! So anything can happen.
And all good, Chef. And Chef's a Ravens fan. It's fine. Like at the end of the day, if one team wins or loses, we will bag the team out. You just don't bag out the person. That's fine.
No, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, it's all good as long as you're all good both ways. But sometimes people can be really disrespectful when it's block you. But you know how it works. That's life. Life works like that. It's not. Life is like Troy said. Troy didn't love football. He loved life, and football was a part of life. That's what really some of these shows are about. We love football, but it's part of life.
My life is Steeler football, so I'm hoping to keep it going. So I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm telling. This is playoff time. I'm telling you, I get in a different. You don't know me. I mean, you know me, but you never see me during playoff time. It's something.
I can't lie.
It's like
we might just watch your stream on my stream. We just might watch you. That's what we might do.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm just a little hyper.
Daredevil says even a blind Daredevil can find a bench press. Oh, there it is.
make sure you go. You do your reps.
Yeah, I love that. Even a blind Daredevil can find a bench press. That's pretty good.
That's funny.
Alrighty, thank you, Bubba. Thank you, Steelers.
Thank you, Mark.
Steelers Dynasty Podcast. Let's play a video. I've been playing all year. I need BMAC to give us some fucking hope for New Orleans. Here we go.
Yeah.
The road to New Orleans will start in a few months. Let's get ready for the ride. Gas up the cars, baby. Let's get to New Orleans. Gas it up. Let's go.
Hey, thank you, BMAC, mate. I'll see you all later. As always, here we go, Steelers.
Here we go, Steelers. Here we go.